then shall we go and talk to the guy in the cemetery?
Mahbu, I'm afraid I haven't seen her lately. She's always been strong-minded.
Goodbye.
Once upon a time, this forest was a paradise for the divine spirits who served Elrum, god of the forest. The forest people are the incarnation of Mammon, the divine spirit of knowledge. When the divine spirits created man, it was Mammon who bestowed knowledge upon them. But man used his knowledge for the pursuit of ruin. In the end, Gehena Pale was destroyed because man aroused Elrum's wrath. Bestowing knowledge upon man troubled Mammon greatly. In order to prevent the mortals from causing further destruction, to this day he lives in the forest, protecting it from the foolish ways of man. If you act not in destructive ways, surely Mammon shall bestow upon you valuable knowledge. We are in good hands with you as our cocoon master.
That wasn't a lot of information, really.
I'm afraid something terrible will happen. Her face, it was so...
Yeah. Did we listen to this? If we did, I'm gonna skip this.
This is a tale of the kingdom of Gehena Pale that stretched across these lands long ago. Once upon a time, Prince Menek, son of King Karis, set out with his vassals to hunt in the forest. But in the forest they were enveloped by a thick fog, and the prince lost his way. Wandering aimlessly about, he happened upon a marsh from which grew an enormous tree. Thereupon he heard the sound of sobbing, but he knew not from where. He found a maiden sitting all alone. She was weeping by the marsh. "I am Gehena. I just buried my mother here in the marsh of Uban," she said. And then she looked up at the prince. He was overwhelmed by her beautiful eyes. The maiden stole his heart that day. It was truly a fateful meeting. Thereafter, the prince made frequent trips into the forest. Undoubtedly, he was paying visits to the maiden. The maiden had a strange power. She could talk to the insects and trees. Before long, there began a terrible rumor that the prince's heart had been stolen by a witch. One day the maiden spun silk from fairy cocoons and wove it into a beautiful cloth for the king. But the brilliance of that cloth cast a shadow upon the kingdom. The king was so enthralled by the fairy silk that he sent his soldiers into the forest, where they ravaged for fairy cocoons. The fairies, still in their cocoons, were boiled alive. The king killed them so he could have their silk. The prince pleaded with his father to stop his cruelty, but the king was no longer the man he had once been. Prince Menek was charged with treason and imprisoned in the king's deepest dungeon. He was never heard from again. When the maiden learned of the prince's death, she cursed her fate and lamented the foolishness of man. She then cast herself away into the marsh where her mother lay. As she started to drown, a voice from nowhere whispered to her, "I am Elrum. I shall grant you your wish. Tell me what you want," said the voice. The maiden told Elrum all that weighed upon her heart. The maiden said, greed bears destructive knowledge. Its wicked power shall be the end of the forest. All hope is lost. The beasts of knowledge shall never live in peace with the forest. The one light of hope, who I so loved, has perished at the hands of the beasts. I now go to where my loved Menek awaits. Thereupon Elrum spoke again. So you claim that your true love was torn asunder by the greed and hatred of the beasts of knowledge? When light is swallowed up by darkness, I shall unleash ruin upon the land, returning all to the nothingness from whence it came. I have a firm grip upon the darkness in your heart. From that day forward, demons appeared in the forest, terrifying all they came upon. And the kingdom of Gehena Pale fell to ruin by the swarms of Onibubu, locusts of apocalypse. The demons that haunt the forest now are the beasts, spawned by the greed in man's heart.
Anyway. Let's go do some errands and then call it a session. You can't beat me, but if you do. No, I don't care about her. Right. Ah! Oh. We could do with getting some more silk. We only have about 200 squid. Shut! Let's see if we can get a new sword or something. Hey babe, Yajiko is your name. I'd like to sell this. And I'd like to sell this. And this. Now, I'd like to buy. That's expensive. Oh, for goodness sake, I can't afford a thing! Well, we're gonna have to start harvesting some of them cocoons. Oh, ah!
You've come back, I see.
Shut up.
I heard about those awful rumors going around at the silk mill.
What's that?
They say Theo and Mahbu aren't getting along. It's not true, is it?
Oh, jeez.
Don't you pay attention to what they say.
Hey, shush, honey. You're being rude.
Really are.
That's none of our business. I can't stand it when she spreads rumors like this. Oh, women.
Do you mind?
What are you talking about? It's because you men are so undependable. You're always driving us crazy.
Oh, I'm tired of this conversation.
What? I was only trying to help. Don't grow up to be an insensitive...
You're an insensitive biatch. I'm gonna go and see your son. He's nice, and he's friends with the Birdman, and so am I. Where does he live? Here.
So you beat Kikinak? Wow! You've really gotten stronger. Kelmar hasn't come by yet today. you want something, let me know, okay?
Oh, there he is.
Hey. So you're back. Well, did you meet the Birdman?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, you haven't heard? Sorry about that. I was planning on telling you sometime. The divine barrier's been broken, and that's how come the demons started to attack the village. That's scary enough. But then there's that matter of me and Kikinak. Please, don't tell my parents, okay? Going into the forest without their permission is bad enough. You know, if they found out I was friends with a demon... Oh, yeah. Yeah. Did Kikinak tell you all about himself? All that stuff about gods and fairies? He's fun to listen to. But I suppose you don't have the time.
Maybe I do have the time.
What? You don't believe what Kikinak says?
How could he think up such garbage? How could he be so powerful? He's always bragging like that.
Yeah, I guess so.
Of course. Don't you think so? Everyone has changed since that chaos brought on by the Onibubu. That's why they sent a cocoon master into the forest, right?
Yeah.
And Mahbu is risking her life to purify the demon curses. I know it's for the sake of the village, but...
She's my wife, boy! Back the fuck off.
You say you beat Kikinak, but you probably just used the power of your demons, right? Well, I don't know about that purification, but you'll turn into a demon too, you know?
You're a complete fool. Anyway. We're ready to go in the spider forest, but not until next session. Transform the screen. Thank you very much for tuning in. Look at this mercy hair. It's been really fun, as usual. We've got a new creature, Dave, to join our entourage of mignones. Going to check out the spider forest, which is the third forest. Also, we think. Haha. But you don't need to know that. You just need to know. Goodbye.